Hey everybody, that's Aloe, this is Alex, and there's Aden. This week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. As you may know, BuzzFeed is doing Awareness Week about mental health. Whatever you may think about BuzzFeed, I think it's really important to shed light upon the issue, especially that here in Canada, 1 in 5 people will suffer of some mental disorder within their lifetime, and that suicide accounts for 1 in 4 teen deaths, making it one of the leading causes of death amongst teens and young adults. I try to live with as much transparency as possible because I think that my story can help others to feel less ashamed or less, afraid when it comes to these kind of issues. Some people look down upon me because they see that as a weakness, and sure, whatever. I have struggled with mental disorders or a mental disorder since I've been very young, and I've been in the system for a little while. But I think it's just a really important subject to talk about, and because I've had that help, I feel the importance. It's very important for me to be able to give back, not keep quiet about the issue, recognize how lucky I am to have had the help that I had, and use the strength that I've gained within the process to help other people who might be too ashamed or too afraid to come forward and say, I need help. So, the story begins. I am born 22 years ago. So ever since I was a kid, I was a little different, and coming from a family of scientists, my dad saw me and he was like, that kid's not normal. I was a very special child, very creative child, very aware of everything around me. I would be playing with a toy, and then I would smell something, and actually I have these essential oils right now, distracting me from everything, but calming my nerves. I had a form of ADD, ADHD. When I was little, I had, there's the usual fear of the dark that eventually developed into an acute fear of death and everything that may lead to it. Forest fires, tsunamis, heights, earthquakes, bombs, tornadoes, and finally illness. It developed into hypochondria that, left untreated, could be tormenting me to this day. At the end of high school, because I didn't have a lot of friends, I had a very, very low self-esteem. I suffered from a body dysmorphia from being very skinny, something that I did not like, and I found friends that were not the greatest influence, or just friends who were just as lost as I was, and turned to self-harm. Self-harm became a way to prove myself that I was at least good for one thing, and withstanding pain, I could do it. It was not a good time. My parents eventually found out, and I begged to be brought to a psychologist, and I started CBT, and I can tell you that CBT saved my life. It got rid of a lot of the guilt I was holding upon myself, a lot of the fear, a lot of the shame, a lot of the embarrassment for being different. And I'm kind of grateful for that experience because it's made me who I am today. I talk about going through that quite often because I have no shame at all. I'm not afraid to say that I had medication that helped me along the way. There's a taboo around medication, but I'm very confident and I'm really not afraid about that kind of stuff. I think I'm a strong person. I've been through all these stuff, and now I know the resources, and I help friends who go through the same sort of struggles to find those resources and get out of the hole they're in. It can be frustrating because sometimes people with mental health issues, it's like they're a cat under a cardboard box just spinning around in circles. And we don't want them to feel like a burden because we know their potential and we know how far they can make it. They're desperately looking for a way out, but they don't know that the box might be the problem. So basically what anxiety and depression and all those things do is it alienates you from others. It puts you sunglasses in the dark, so you're constantly in survival mode, not thinking straight, not seeing the things that everyone else sees around you, these walls that you can cross, but you need the help you need. So we need to be talking about these issues, and I kind of went wild when I was talking about it because I was looking half at my notes, half at you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if ever anyone needs help, don't be afraid to reach out because you're loved, and you may not see that love, but there's love out there. And you have potential no matter who you are. You always have something to give to this world. So, yeah, that's the end of my vlog. Everyone has their say on what's healthy, right? Isn't healthy being happy? Isn't healthy leading a life that you're proud to live and a life that you enjoy? Anyway. And we are coming to thank you, fans of America, for being my #1 fan! And I will be celebrating